Target loses $9 billion amid Pride merchandising controversy. Got the whole bathing suits for really, 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 really small adults, otherwise known as children, that have flaps to put your genitals in case you haven't had that surgery yet. Also, you've got a merchandise line by Target that was designed by a Satanist. All right, that seems to be impacting the bottom line of Target by just a scooch. Let's get into it. Here we go. Target stock is experiencing its worst 6-day stretch since the 6 days ending May 25th, 2022. That's not good. You know, unfortunately, I think, yes, this is going to have a short-term impact on Target, but they're going to get their equity scoring, their, inclusiveness scoring. They're showing that they just, they really have ramped up everything for the LGBTQ plus community. And they're just really being, it's just, they're doing such a great woke job. A little $9 billion loss. It's not that big of a deal. Whereas Bud Light is just taking it because they're losing customers, because Bud Light consumers, they're not down with Dylan Mulvaney, right? And I'm sure you've seen that controversy right now. You had a woman, a trans, whatever they are, Dylan, formerly known as Derek, but now is a woman, but is still a man. Whatever. Hasn't transitioned yet, but is wearing a Nike sports bra, but has no boobs. You got some of this stuff going on. Well, anyway, Budweiser gave her a can with her face on it, just this limited edition can. She's shown drinking it. I'm sure she wasn't drinking Bud Light because, it's not exactly a beer that people with sophisticated taste or most folks outside of, certain demographic drink. If you want to get drunk, Bud Light will do it. If you need to go on volume, Bud Light's a good choice. I mean, it's American made, support America, right? It's a great fraternity beer. It's always cheap. You can always find some on sale. It's not great tasting. Got to be honest. If you've elevated your beer drinking game just a scooch, you won't be drinking Bud Light. You would drink Modelo. I'm sorry. I'm going to go out there and say Modelo is better beer than Bud Light. Just based on pure taste alone, I can get down a Modelo. I can't get down a Bud Light. And back in the day, I drank a lot of Bud Light. Just saying, right? And I know a lot of folks did. And I know, a lot of the demographic above me in age, Bud Light's a go-to beer, but it's not a go-to beer for the folks that they're trying to bring in with that ad campaign. Target, I don't even know what they're doing. Hey, a little flap here for your genitals because you're wearing a bathing suit that you probably shouldn't be wearing. And then we got Satan Boy over here just making up some merchandise and coming up with some crazy stuff. Target stock value is taking a hit, leaving shareholders in the lurch as controversy continues to swell over its Pride merchandising plans, as first reported by Fox News Digital. So I did a couple of podcasts on those. You can check those out. I did them individually. I did the flap and the bathing suit one separately from the Satanist one, because I think those two different things they're so bizarre. Let's be honest. They're so bizarre that you gotta get into those, individually and just tear those apart because they're so bad, just so bad. Shares slipped another 1.6% on Thursday and have dropped more than 12.6% since the furor erupted a week ago Wednesday. As tracked by Dow Jones Market Data Group, that amounts to $9.3 billion in market value. Here's the thing. Target knew there was going to be some backlash. They're okay with it. All right, we're going to have stock's going to drop. But at the end of the day, there's so many people that shop there that are just going to go, yeah, that's kind of weird, but I'm not going to stop shopping there. That's what I think will happen, because Target is just one of those stores where I know a lot of folks just love to shop there. I am not one of them. And I've been pretty vocal about that, but yeah, there's a lot of stores I don't shop at that you might like to shop at. So to each their own, right? But if you got a store that's gone down the whole, hey, men can use the women's restrooms. It's okay. I mean, if you're a lady, if you're a woman and you're going into your restroom and there's a dude who is pretending to be a woman, and he can just go right on in there and, do the same thing. It's just, he's got different, stuff going on. And so then that was in 2016. And then Target said, you know what? We've reimagined and we've rethought this game plan. We're going to spend, I don't remember how many million it was, 60 million, something like that, whatever it was. It wasn't a huge number. It was sizable. We're going to give, bathrooms to each store that anybody can go in. It's not that way we don't have to, let one sex go into another that's identifying as, that whole thing. So that happened. And I think they lost a lot of business throughout that whole deal because women didn't really want to go to a store and have a dude go into the bathroom next to them. I mean, am I off here? I don't think so. So shares have fallen for 6 consecutive days over that period, their longest losing streak since December of 2022, and the worst 6-day stretch since the 6 days ending May 25th, 2022, when shares fell 27.34%. All right. Over the same time, Standard & Poor's 500 is little changed. Inquiries by Fox Business to Target on its stock sell-off were not immediately returned. So you're going to have some kickback, but I think Target knew it. Bud Light, I don't think knew how big that controversy was going to be. But the marketing director that came up with that genius campaign to have Dylan Mulvaney, face on a Bud Light can of all things. If it was a wine spritzer, I'd totally get that. But Bud Light used to do the most amazing ads where they were just basically making fun of men. And they were hilarious. They were funny because they were true. And that demographic of guys drinking Bud Light, it fit them to a T. Some of that stuff I did, back in the, totally guilty, 100% guilty, real men of genius. That was the ad campaign, right? And we're just not all that genius because men just typically aren't all that genius, right? We want what we want. We like what we like. And the rest, whatever. But Dylan Mulvaney on a beer can, not so much. So there was some definite kickback there. My favorite was Kid Rock loading it up with a, automatic, semi-automatic rifle. Just boom, boom, boom. Just shooting some Bud Light. And Bud Light had been a big sponsor of Kid Rock back in the day. Bud Light was a huge sponsor of, hydroplane racing, the Miss Bud. Invariably, if the Miss Bud was running, it would win. It would win any hydroplane race because they had such a wealthy, amount of resources to draw from that as a racing team, you couldn't stop them. They just, nobody else could really stop them if mechanically they were up and going. So you had Budweiser, contributing to all these American things. And then all of a sudden you got somebody that's, voted in as Woman of the Year after being a woman for 1 year. And you got stuff like that going on. And you're like, okay, this woman just celebrated or, 1 year of every day doing a TikTok on whatever. And, that's who's going to be in our Bud Light can now. All right. Yeah. Let's get back to Target though. Target's gone down they've gone down some unfortunate roads, but this is where they want to be. This is worth it for them. The cost of what they're doing is worth it to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it, right? For more than a decade, Target has offered an assortment of products aimed at celebrating Pride Month. A company spokesperson told Fox News Digital, since introducing this year's collection, we've experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit, but not enough to pull everything and put it in the back of the store. You're having major kickback from real customers and it's impacting value and it's impacting stock value. That's why you're doing this. Okay. Let's codename say that employee safety is at stake here. Let's get that stuff in the back because good Lord, these folks, they're not buying it, let alone it's not good for business. Given these volatile circumstances, we're making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior. All right. So they're trying to spin their bad decision to have these items designed and sold as part of their company merchandise as confrontational behavior. That's why they're taking them off the shelves at the front of the store, put them in the back. Our focus now is on moving forward with our continuing commitment to the LGBTQIA plus community. We've got over a third of the alphabet in there now, don't we? Yeah, we do. And standing with them as we celebrate Pride Month and throughout the year. Whole month. You get a whole month. Huh. Jesus gets like a couple of days. You got Easter and Christmas, everything else. I mean, Passover, you got a couple of days. Pride, whole month. Interesting. Adding fuel to the fire, the retailer's gay pride collection has been linked to a controversial designer, Ab Pralin's Eric Carnell, who is an outspoken Satanist, whose brand features occult imagery and messages like Satan respects pronouns. What? Did you talk to Satan? Did Satan say, hey, you know what? I am down with the pronouns. He, his, him, her, or they, them, zoo, z, whatever it might be. I'm okay with that. Did you hear Satan say that? Because otherwise, you're just kind of talking out your ass. Satan respects pronouns. Okay. Although, I would wear that t-shirt just out of sheer, hey, go ahead, make a comment. Let's see what you got. Satan respects pronouns. I kind of want to go to Target this weekend and just see if they got any of this stuff. I just want to see, is it there? I bet you it's been pulled. Bellevue? I bet you it's been pulled. If not, I'm getting a Satan respects pronouns t-shirt. What is it even on? I mean, I saw the bathing suits. They got a little tuck pocket for your junk because you haven't had it whacked off yet. Okay. All right. On a kid's bathing suit? I'm sorry. On a very, 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 very small adult bathing suit, otherwise known as child. He is also known for aggressive messaging and phrases. We're talking back to the Satanist now, Eric Carnell, including burn down the system down here. All right. So now we're getting into a play on words. Cisgender, meaning normal folks, men, women, not something other than straight. It's known as cis, but now burn down the system, right? Not system, S-Y-S-T-E-M, but C-I-S-Tem. All right. That's catchy. Yeah. I see where you're going there. Okay, whatever. Which have been featured on the website along with one that says homophobe headrest with an image of a guillotine. Huh. Yeah. Homophobe headrest. So if somebody's a homophobe, it's okay to lop their head off. All right. That doesn't seem very inclusive. What about the hope and love and the Satan respects pronouns? What about that? I mean, you going to whack somebody's head off? I mean, is that quirky? I'm not sure if the typical Target buyer, Target buyer is going to be down with the homophobe headrest with the image of a guillotine. Let's just hyperlink that. Let's just see what that looks like. This shop is temporarily closed. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, hey now. All right. Yeah. Not there. Weird, right? Is that shocking to you? No, not me neither. Right. Okay. So we got an image of a guillotine. Carnell explained in an Instagram post that, hey, let's take a peek there. You think it's there? All right. Yep. There it is. Satan respects pronouns. You got the horn, which is a symbol of Satan and evil. And you got the whole ram's head, which is, I think biblically it's in there somewhere. And you got some weird symbols and, all hail Satan, that kind of thing. You got that whole going on. So, that's there. Satan respects pronouns. Okay. And you can wear that as a little clip. It looks like wear that as a little clip. I don't think I'd be, I don't think I'd be wearing that. No, I'm a hard no-go. I'm just anything to do with the occult. I just kind of leave alone because, whether you believe in that or not, I'm just like, I don't really need that in my life. Yes, no, pass, hard pass. That's where I'm at. Maybe maybe you got a little altar somewhere in the corner of your house. I doubt it. You know why? Because you're reasonable. We just don't really do that kind of thing. Like, okay. Target is experiencing a similar ongoing trend as Anheuser-Busch, following the Bud Light backlash after the brand sent transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney a personalized pack of beer. Yeah, the moron that designed that campaign is no longer with Bud Light. They are, was and were identifying pronouns now. Yeah, they were the marketing director. And what they said was that we need to update the image of Bud Light. Like, no, you don't. You need to leave it just as it was. They're saying it's a dying beer brand. It might be a dying beer brand, but mainly because there's other beer that's competing with it that tastes way better and it costs a little bit more. But I think you've just got more options. You got more beer options now, period. And so a brand like Bud Light, yeah, it's still got its place. It's still got its place. I will drink a Coors Light over a Bud Light. I got to be honest. I think Coors Light is better. A Modelo is better. Pretty much anything is better than a Bud Light, in my opinion. I just don't like the way it tastes. But, maybe you love it. Maybe you just, buy the gallon. Go for it. But, you're probably not going to be encouraged when Dylan Mulvaney's on that can. And you're like, what am I looking at here? Yeah. What are you looking at there? Right. And they were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Dylan Mulvaney doing that. It's like, okay. And she's sitting in front of like 4 or 5 beer cans. It's a dude with makeup on, right? Dude with makeup on and really skinny. She's got some kind of, doesn't eat enough. So since March 30th through May 25th, the Bud Light parent has lost $18.8 billion in market value, with shares down more than 14% as tracked by Dow Jones. Here's what I think happens. This is just the price that Bud Light is willing to pay and that Target is willing to pay. They are multi-billion, capitalized companies. They're going to just brush this off, right? They're just going to brush this off. This is going to be, one of those things that we talk about and we get all outraged. And remember when Bud Light pulled that knucklehead thing with the whole can and the trans person? Remember that? You're like, it was weird, wasn't it? Wonder how their stock's doing. It'll be up 45 billion. Some version of that. We do have Bud Light revealing a new promotion called the U.S. Budweiser Family Memorial Day Rebate. All right. So as a family, if you drink Budweiser, you can get a rebate for all the cans of Bud that you're going to buy. The rebate promises an amount equivalent to the purchase of one 15-pack or larger of up to $15 of Bud Light, a bunch of other beers. Based on recent prices for Bud Light products. However, in some cases, this would be giving packs of beer away for free. You've all seen the memes in like grocery stores where all the other beer is taken and Bud Light is just fully stocked. The one casualty there is Stella. Stella is made by or owned by Anheuser-Busch now. I'm a Stella fan. I got to be honest. I mean, those 11-ounce cans, I don't want 12. I just want 11-ounce, right? Smaller is better. Why do they do that? Just give me the extra ounce. Give me the 12 ounces. But no, they go down that route. And you know what? It's sad. But Anheuser-Busch has a bunch of products that are pretty good. And that's one of them. And unfortunately, you just can't go there. You're like, you did that whole Dylan Mulvaney thing. What are you doing? Can't buy that beer. So it's like, all right, so you got to take that off the option list, right? Target, there's nothing I really need at Target. I'm not shopping at Target anytime soon. And I hope you don't either. Just on a pure principle basis, right? All right, what were you doing with the kids' bathing suits? What were you doing with Satan loves pronouns as well? What were you even thinking there? You're thinking some weird stuff and it's going to cost you. Long term, I don't think it costs Target, because they're such an ingrained part of our culture. And that's where people like to shop. They like to go there and get some groceries, check out the latest clothes from whatever clothesline, and, maybe go into the electronics and get a little something, and then go into the, housing stuff. I need some new bedding. You can get it all at Target, right? Just like you can at Walmart, but it's a little bit better quality at Target. Plus, you can call it Target. But short term, I think they're going to be impacted. Long term, bump in the road. They just flick it off. But there's going to be a number of people that are just like, yeah, I'm pretty much done. And maybe that has more of a long-term impact than I'm imagining. Because like I said in the Satan podcast about Target, I'm like, I was thinking to myself, all right, if I'm a consumer in the Bible Belt, I don't think that the whole Satan thing is going to go over all that well. And that's where they initially identified they're having some major problems is when you've got bathing suits in the store that are, have gone in a wildly different direction that they probably don't need to. Some folks in the South are going to call that out and say, this is nonsense. And I agree with them. That's why we're doing this podcast. All right. That's it for me on this one. But time will tell how this goes. But again, I think it's, much ado about nothing, but it's more than nothing. It's these woke big corporations going down this road that the vast majority of the rest of us are like sitting there going, what? You're doing what? Why? What are we even doing? Well, talking about it here on this podcast. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell because we release 2 a day. If you want to come see me, if you want to send me a message, I'm on premieres each morning about 9:00 Seattle time, Monday through Friday. You can also hit me up on the Discord channel. That is Reasonable Plus. A lot of different ways you can get a hold of me if you want to. If you want to just keep doing this whole thing, more than happy. Thanks again for your support. It's been amazing this last few months. I had my son die, but then I had the podcast really ramp up. So sometimes you get good things. Sometimes you get bad things. You got to take whatever you get and just make it work. That's my Tony Robbins moment for the day. Thanks again for being here. We'll catch up in the next one. Bye for now.